Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we have created one of the model, that is our model class name I have defined as a billing address, and also I have created one of the form, right? So now I want to visible this form. So if you want to visible it, we have to work in our app payment, and that is our view, right? So which file is essential? I think you already know about it, what exactly the file you have to take for the view all that files. So like that is actually why by default it is a shortcuts, that is our import and the render, right? So into this shortcuts area also I can use another two of this class. So that will be as a HTTP response. So I just simply define as a HTTP response and redirect. So that will be also needed, and also in particular that area there is another one as a redirect. So I just simply add it on here. Okay, that means a redirect. And also we need that reverse, so that is in our form and the Django, and from Django the URLs, and into the URLs here I want to import that reverse, right? So that is our reverse. And also I need our model. That means our model I have created in our app payments, and also we need our forms. So better I want to take both of this. So here I simply define as a form and then our app payment. So from to the app payment I want to from our app payments the models, from to the models area I want to input our model name. So I have created one of the model in our app. That means here that is our billing address. So I just simply import it. And also we need our forms. So now I just simply define as a form, and in our app, into the app payment, that is our forms, right? From to the forms I want to input. I have already created one of the in our form area I have created one of the form name as a billing form. So now I just simply input it also on here. And also we need our order. That means that is actually all that order we have to also display it in our payment. That means checkout page. So for the reasons all that order in our app order, right? In our app order, that is our models. So if you go here, we need our cart, right? We need our cart, and also we need our this class. That means the order class. So better I want to take both of these. That means our from, and from our app underscore order. So from our app order, and that is our models. Our models from here I want to input. I want input our order. Sorry, I input our order and the cart. Okay, so both of this class I have take that things on here. That is our order, and that is our cart, because that will be also needed, right? So now I just take both of our class on particular that position, and also we need our locking required. So locking required in our decorators area, right? So I just simply define as a form, the Django, and then the contrib, and then the auth, and the decorators. Okay, decorators. From here and to input our locking required, locking underscore required, right? So that is our locking required. So as I told you friend, everything is very much common, and here we used a lot of the time with the same things, right? So I think you should already know about it. So if you practice it, then you can remember every class where exactly you have to call it. Okay, so that is our locking required. So now with this locking requires I want to create one of the functions. So here it will be as a locking required, and now I want to define another function name as a dev, and I just name it as a checkout. Okay, so it will be as a checkout, and also here we have to pass that request. So here we have to pass that request, and then it will be the same formatted that we have done before. So I just take one of the variable name as a save. Okay, I name it as a save address. I just name it as a save address, and now with our this billing address, right? That means here in our model area I have already defined all that our fields. So here I want to take all that field. So that is our billing address. So with this billing address I define our objects. That means our objects, and if here there is a function as a get or and the create. That means if there have already some of the data in our particular all that field, it will be get all the data rather than it will be create this data. Okay, so for the reasons here I define as a get or create function, and then our user will be our requested user. So requested user. Okay, And then I want to change that format. Like here, that is all the data. So that is all that our field data. I want to convert it out to the object. So here, if you want to convert it, that means this saved data. Okay, so here I define as a saved address. So I just simply define as a save address, and better I want to also make the things as a saved. Okay, that means a saved address, then it should be better to you. So this save address I want to actually make that convert it to the object. So for the reasons here I want to with this saved data. Okay, with this saved data I want to convert it to the object as a 0 object. And after that I want to add our form. So our form will be with our this billing form, that is our billing form I have created, right? So with this billing form I want to define our instance all the data. That means our already this field, if you have any data, so that is all that our instant data, we have to add it as the instance. Okay, so with this instant I want to define our this saved data, and here I convert it with this object, and I take the things with this variable. So now here I just simply pass it. All right, and after that we have to do the same things that we have done before. Like here we have to define the if condition, if this request method, that means if this request method equal as a post, because we have to also load this form, right? So now with this first of all it will check it, and then our form. So with this form, then our this billing form. So this billing form, here we have to pass that our requested post. So that is our requested, and then our requested post, and then also here we have to pass our this instance all the data. So here I just simply pass our instance saved data, and after that we have to define our condition, right? So that means if our form, so if our form is valid or not. So here I have to define the is underscore valid. So if valid, then it should be save this data. That means it should be save our form data. So I just simply define as a save form data, and our this save form data will be again replaced within our this instant area, that means instant save data area, right? So here if you want to defining it, so I think you already know about it, what exactly things you have to do. That means in our form area, what are the data now you updated, so this data will be saved in our previous instant area. So in our billing, that means in our billing form area, with this billing form here we have to pass that our instant saved data, that means this instant saved data. Okay, that means into the form area, whatever the data you will be uploaded or whatever data you will be updated, this data will be added in our instant, our previous section, that means previous all that field area, it will be replace it with our new data. And after that also here we have to load our page. That means here we have to load it with the return and then our render. So with this return render, that is a request, and then also here we have to create one of the page. So that means in our app underscore payment, okay, into the app payment, if you go to our template, into the app payment, here I want to create one of the file, and I just name it as a checkout.html. Okay, so now here I want to define that name. That means in our app payment area, I want to create one of the, I have already created one of the page as a checkout. Okay, checkout.html. And after that also we have to pass our context form data. That means into the context. So into the context area we have to pass our form, right? So here I just simply define our form. So our form will be our form. So I just simply pass it. So now we can actually access our this form in our that checkout page, that means checkout.html page. So now we have to work in our this checkout page, right? So now go to our checkout, and here first of all it should be extends our base HTML. So extends our base HTML, base.html, right? It should be extends our base.html, and also here we need our crispy form. So here also we have to load our crispy underscore form. Okay, crispy form tags, so underscore tags. So here you have to load it, and then our block. that means our body block. So block will be our body underscore block, right? And then also we have to AND this block. So I just simply AND this block and block. So for access this checkout page, we have to also define one of the URL, right? So now go to our app payment, into the app payment, and that is our URL. So now in particular that position I want to define one of the URL. So here I define that path, and into the path area I want to define one of the URL name will be as a checkout. Okay, it will be as a checkout. And also in our views, so into the views I have already created one of the function. Into the view I have created the function as a checkout. So now here I want to define that checkout. So here that will be our function name as a checkout. And also here I define some of the name. So name for this, and it should be as a checkout. Okay, so here I just simply defining it. And also that is our app name I have defined as a app payment, and that is our checkout. Perfect. So now I want to put that link. I want to put that link in our this cart page, into the cart page, and here that is our process to payment. Better I want to define as a process to checkout. Okay, so here I want to define that link. So that is in our cart. If you go to our HTML, and that is our app order, and that is our cart HTML. And to the cart HTML, here you can see that is actually the process to payment. So better I want to make that thing as a process to checkout. Okay, process to check out. So I just name it as a process to checkout, and here we have to define that URL that you are right now created. So here it should be as a URL, and into the URL here position I have to define our app name. Our app name will be app underscore payment, and with the app payment here that is our app payment, and that is our checkout. So now I want to define that our checkout. Okay friends, so here I put that link. So now it should be redirected to our specific this page, that means in our checkout page, right? Now if you check it, like here right now I want to run our server as a py, and then manage.py, and then run server, click as a enter. Our server is now running, and now if you refresh it, so right now they have the two product. Click as a process to checkout. Yes, you can see it's now perfectly redirected to our checkout page. And also here I added our base HTML. So into the base HTML we have get our this header. So that is our header is visible. So that means our this checkout page is now perfectly working. So here I want to load our form. That means that is actually form I have created in our form. So that is actually the form with all that field. So now actually there is URL, we don't need this. There is a cart HTML, we don't need this. There is a checkout HTML will be needed. So right now we don't need this, I remove it. So here first of all I take one of the dev. Okay, into the dev area I define one of the class as a container and empty5. So I just simply define as a container empty5, and then I take another h2 tag. So into the h2 tag area I define one of the another class. Okay, so I just simply define the class. It actually depends on you, whatever you want. So right now I'm actually using as a MD3. That is also one of the building class. So right now in our h2 area I want to define as it should be show as a shipping address. Okay, shipping address. So that will be as a shipping address, and into the shipping address it should be show our page link. That means that will be in our checkout page. So here I define another with the span, and into the span area I define that name will be as a checkout. It will be as a checkout. Okay, and also for this span I define one of the class. So our class will be as a text mute. Okay, text mute, this type of class I want to use it. If you now click as a save all, refresh it, yeah, you can see it's not perfect. It's not showing as a our shipping address and the checkout. Better and to make that as a h4. Okay, I just make as h4, and also I end that h4, save all, refresh it. Yeah, it's much better. So here I want to distinguish with the two row. One will be our this one, and here I want to take another one for display all that our order, and it should be here I want to load our form. Okay, So for doing this, after this after this one, I want to take another div, and that will be as a row. That means the div row. Here I want to distinguish with the two div. So here it will be as a call md9. Okay, so I just name it as a call md9, one of the layout, and also I want to take another layout. I take another layout, it will be as a call md3. Okay, that means that is equal to 12. So now first of all I want to work on here. So that is our one div, and that is our another div. So now first of all here I want to define another div, and here I take that as a card. So that is also another class. I define as a mb, call md5, and also after this I take our card body. So I just simply define the div as a card and then body. Okay, so card body. So into the card body area I want to load our form. So I just simply define form. Here we don't need any class, we don't need any method, and here I only need our method as a post. Okay, so simply define as a post method, and here also you have to load our form, because in our view from here I have passed that form, right? So now I want to use it, so that will be our form. And also here I loaded our crispy, so now I want to use that crispy form. Okay, that will be our crispy form. Perfect. And also here we have to define our CSRF field. So I just simply define as a CSRF underscore token. So that is our CSRF token, and then a button will be needed. So I just simply define the button will be as a submit, and then here also we don't need any name. Here I just remove that name. I just define the class button. Class will be as a btn primary, and then btn sm. Okay, I just name it as a btn sm, and it will be as a save address. So it will be as a save address. Perfect. So that's all you have to do. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, and now first of all I have to check it, everything is running well. Now if you refresh it, yeah, you can see it's now perfectly getting all the tower address, the zip code, the city, and the country. So now also here I am defining it. So if you go to our view, here I have also defined our form data will be saved with our instance data area. Now let's check this out. Here I define that address as USA and put some of the code, and I define as a USA again as a New York. Okay, so new, and then country I define as a USA. So this type of one of the information right now I'm using. Better I want to define some of the address for education purpose. Now click as a save address. Yes, you can see it's now perfectly saved. That means address is saved, zip code is also saved, and there is our city is saved, the country is saved. And after that it's showing our all that instance data. For the reasons here you can see after that save I define as a form into the our billing form area. It will be instance our all that saved data. So right now you can see it's now showing our instant all that saved data. So now if you go again our home page, go to the cart, go to the process to checkout, you can see it's now showing our all that instant saved data, right? So that's the reason we actually using it. And also here we successfully define our checkout. And also now here if you want to define our message, then it should be actually interactive. Better I want to use that message option. So if you want to use that message, first of all here you have to add our message class, right? So that is our form, and from our Django that is also one of the building class, right? That is our contrib. So from the contrib I want to input our messages. So here I just simply input our messages. So now with this message I want to actually display this message. That means when it should be saved this data. Okay, when it should be saved this data. So after this here I define that messages. With these messages it should be as a success. Okay, it should be as a success tag, and then the request, and here I want to display that what are the things it should be display. Like here I want to display as a shipping address. Okay, shipping address saved. So this type of one of the message it should be display. So now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, so here I just simply click as a save all, and now I just refresh it. Now I want to change it on here as a zip code. Okay, I just change that zip code. click as the save update. Yeah, you can see it's now perfectly display our shipping address save. And also if you want to change it on here, because the save address, yeah, it's now perfectly visible. Okay, that means right now if you want to change anything, automatically our message option will be visible. And also they have the another one, that means in our cart area right now they have some of the product, right? And also there is our product quantity. So now I want to visible our this product name with also the quantity in our this checkout page. That means here, so for the reasons here I have already defined another column. So in our checkout here I have already defined another column as a call MD3, right? So here I want to visible that file. So how can do that work? In our next video I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.